Okay, it's that time of year where Sting's contract is, of course, getting close to expire. Some people talk about, could this be the year that Sting finally signs with the E, so he could fight the Undertaker? So I've often decided, well, what if Sting were to fight the Undertaker? As often, I have a laundry list of things to go through. I have a list here because there's a lot of stuff to go through in this time. When I do wrestler versus wrestler, I look at strength, speed, endurance. This is, how well will you last in a longer fight? Toughness. This is just when JR says tougher than $2 steak. Then we go on the technical side. I look at striking, grappling, submissions, high flying, and then we go to ring psychology. Or let's go to I guess psychology works. That's, are you over with the crowd? What is your overall in-ring psychology? And who will win when it comes to the promo and the mic work skills? Now, I tried to get both these guys closer towards their prime. That having been said, The Undertaker himself requires pretty much no introduction. Sting is by far one of the biggest figures from WCW and TNA. He's also one of the very, very few guys to have never worked in the E. Sting's predominantly been a babyface. For a while he was very much the California sort of wrestler. Bleached blonde hair, bright colorful face paint, jacket with shoulder pads and danglies all over it and sparkly. And then he became Crow Sting for a while, where he had a lot darker tone to him, more black and white, using a baseball bat and a duster. During the time when he fought the NWO, as well as fighting Hulk Hogan. And currently in TNA, he is Joker Sting. He is probably one of the great technical wrestlers. He's known for a tremendous amount of speed. Think of him kind of like a Shawn Michaels. He's got that sort of skill level to him, but he's got more experience than Shawn Michaels. Better grappler than Shawn Michaels. So we'll get right through this. Strength. This is the Undertaker in spades. Speed. Taker, even at his height, was quick for a big man, nowhere near as fast as Sting in his prime. Endurance. Who's going to get winded? Even though Taker has been in super long matches, his size does wear him down more than Sting. Toughness. This is the Undertaker. The character alone takes a tremendous amount of beating, but it never really seems to be hurt. Now we're on to striking. In this style, Taker has always been known for heavy hands and more of a brawling style. So Taker takes it in striking. Grappling. With the exception of when he was the Undertaker until current, Taker was never really known for a lot of grappling, where Sting has done a ton of grappling. Now we're at the submission side. Yeah, we've seen Taker do a Dragon Sleeper, Gogo Palata. We've seen him do a few of these things after his time of being the Undertaker. He doesn't use them super often. We see him use them more often now because his matches are longer and he throws out every move that he's got. One of Sting's finishing moves for a very, very long time was the Scorpion Deathlock, or a sharpshooter. And Sting has done other sort of submission style wrestling. So submissions goes to Sting. High flying. Yeah, we have seen Taker do a couple of high flying moves, but Sting is a lot more comfortable off the ropes, and off that top rope. So right now, just off the physicality alone, Sting has got a lot more when it comes to the overall in-ring ability, and Taker's got a lot more when it comes to a larger man's game. So now we're down to the psychological portion of it. Over with the crowd. If this were to be at a WCW event, if they were to have survived, Sting would be super over with the crowd. However, since Sting hasn't been on one of the larger stages, yes, not knocking TNA, but TNA still doesn't have as much mainstream appeal as the E does. Taker will still be over with the crowd because will be an E crowd. Ring psychology. While Sting has done some amazing work when it comes to ring psychology, probably the best, yeah, he's either number 1 or number 2 in ring psychology, is the Undertaker. It's hard to tell if, for ring psychology, it's Undertaker or Jake Roberts in his prime. But Taker's going to take this in ring psychology. Now it's going to come down to who will have the superior mic work. Sting has always had very strong, like, phonetic and energetic promos. And then he went Crow Sting and he had almost 0 promos. He did it all from look and using a bet to point. And then when he did speak, it was back to more of the frenetic sort of, energetic style of doing a promo. Contrasting that versus The Undertaker. For a super long time, nothing. He didn't say anything. He had Paul Bearer. Then he came into his own. And he's pretty much been The Undertaker for the majority of his career, exception of being Underbiker. And Taker on the mic, with the occasional flubs he has now, is ridiculously solid. I picture when these two guys are talking, I picture Sting having that like hyper energetic style. Again, kind of similar to somebody in the E, kind of like a Shawn Michaels, where I'll have a really energetic sort of, promo trying to get the crowd into it. And then when Taker begins to speak, it is that slow, funeral dirge-like voice that he has that is going to entirely control the style of the promo. So for mic work, I have to give The Undertaker. So if these two were to face in an E ring, Taker takes it. It'll be a long, fantastic, glorious match. But at the end of the day, Taker's going to win this. From a psychological standpoint, he's going to also be relatively tied when it comes to the physical standpoint. But his style of striking and his heavy hands, it's going to wear down Sting. Sting's got a lot of tools that he brings to the table, but it is a tall order for anybody to defeat The Undertaker.